After 3 years of illness, the wealthy madam accidentally knocked over the medicine her maid brought. The dog at home licked up the spilled liquid and collapsed unconscious in less than 3 minutes. That's when she realized, the medicine the maid gave her every day wasn't for healing, it was a sleeping poison. No wonder her health kept worsening, and her hair was falling out in clumps. Fear chilled her to the bone, but before she could react, her husband and the maid pushed open the door. She quickly closed her eyes and pretended to be asleep. "Did you give the madam her medicine?" her husband asked. His familiar voice now sent shivers down her spine. She couldn't tell if he was in on the plot with the maid. All she could do was stay calm and wait to uncover the truth. The next day, when the maid brought her medicine again, the madam noticed something odd. The rural maid, who'd never worn makeup before, had secretly gotten plastic surgery. Now she wore heavy makeup every day, and even sprayed the madam's favorite perfume. To avoid tipping them off, the madam made up an excuse to send the maid away, who'd been watching her drink the medicine, and poured the liquid into her sweater. The maid assumed the madam would be asleep from the poison. Sure enough, she snuck into the room at midnight. To check if the madam was sound asleep, she grabbed her hair and slapped her repeatedly. The madam clenched her teeth in anger, but forced herself to endure. She needed to see what the maid planned to do next. True to her suspicion, the maid changed into her red silk pajamas. Then her husband walked in, and instead of scolding the maid, he looked at her with gentle affection. It turned out, her husband was the mastermind behind the poison. The two had teamed up to steal her family's fortune. Learning the truth felt like a knife to her heart, but she kept pretending not to know. But when she saw her 3-year-old son huddling closely with her husband and the maid looking just like a real family, she lost control. The bowl in her hand crashed to the floor. The sound of shattering porcelain alerted the two downstairs. The maid rushed up, feigning concern. "Madam, why are you up?" "I was just coming to collect the bowl." The madam couldn't hold back anymore. She slapped the maid hard and shouted, "You're just a maid, how dare you act like you own this place? Know your place as the real mistress of this house." Just then, her son suddenly called the maid mom. The room fell silent. Her husband panicked instantly. He hurried to send the maid away, then stared at the madam in shock. "Why are you suddenly so energetic?" The madam made up an excuse. "Maybe I took too much medicine. I'm feeling a little unstable. I need to sleep for another day." Back in her room, she rushed to gather the poison she'd hidden earlier. She wanted to send it for testing, but she didn't expect her husband and the maid to have already noticed something was off. "The slow-acting poison isn't working," they muttered. "That's why she's suddenly energetic." To test if she was faking sleep, they grabbed a needle, preparing to prick her finger. The madam imagined the sharp pain of the needle, but forced herself to lie still. Just as her husband was about to stab the needle down, the power went out. Seeing she didn't wake up from the commotion, they assumed she was truly asleep. They left to enjoy themselves, relieved. The madam panicked. She knew she'd be killed if she stayed. She fumbled for her phone to call her parents, but every number went to a deadline. It hit her. Her husband had not only changed her parents' phone numbers, but must have locked them up too. She quickly called her best friend, but before she could explain the situation, her phone died. Meanwhile, her husband, who'd driven out, suddenly remembered. Wait, was the curtain in her room open earlier? He slammed on the brakes and asked the maid, "Did you open the curtain in her room?" The maid replied, "I never touched it." Her husband froze. "She must be faking sleep," he roared. He sped back home, desperate to silence her. Luckily, the people her best friend sent had already acted. They intercepted his car halfway. At the same time, a masked man slipped into the madam's room. He covered her mouth and whispered softly, "I'm here to save you, sent by your best friend." Tears of relief rolled down the madam's cheeks, but she wiped them away quickly. "This isn't the time to cry." The man handed her a new phone. "Use this to contact us from now on." "Ready to go?" But the madam shook her head. "I can't leave. I need to protect my parents and my son." Just as she spoke, the man received a call from his teammate. Her husband took a detour and is heading back. "We can't evacuate in time." The madam panicked. "What do we do?" The man hurried to close the curtain and glanced up at the ceiling. By then, her husband had already reached the upstairs. He pushed open the door, saw the curtain closed, and muttered, "Maybe I was overthinking it?" He walked slowly to the bed. Suddenly, he leaned over the madam. Seeing she didn't move, he grabbed a table lamp and screamed, "Die!"
Just,